Commissioner Clemens,
Here.
Commissioner Chambers, Commissioner Stalling, Commissioner Washington,
Present.
and President Rogie. School Board Representative, Mr. Glenn Washington. Johnson, my apologies. I know that. My apologies. Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner Stalling is absent from the meeting at this time. Commissioner Clemens, Commissioner Chambers, Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, motion's been made and second on the certification of record, and roll call.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers, Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes,
Motion passes.
okay. Acceptance of the minutes from meeting held on October 23rd, 2024.
I move to accept the minutes of the meeting from October 23rd, 2024.
Second.
Moved in second, so roll call.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. And now we have public comment on agenda items only. And it's open to the public, agenda items only. We have people, you all signed in, but if you want to speak, go ahead.
All right, and you will have 3 minutes if anyone wants to speak.
Is it public comment?
Yeah,
Yes.
on
Are
a,
you
on,
calling a name signed, or do we just fight over the privilege?
Oh, sure, you fight over it.
We can just fight over the privilege?
Yeah.
and on agenda items only, you will have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'll go first. Yes, regarding the,
Mr. Noe, I know you're not used to this, but you're gonna have to start over again.
oh,
And
I don't remember what I said. But it's regarding the resolution before the commission today, Resolution 7515, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving the TIF annual spending plan, and I would bring to the commission's attention how dangerous these TIFs can be financially for for the city of Gary. And I'd make a point to illustrate that by the problems that they're having in the city of Chicago, a $1 billion deficit that they're wrestling with, largely because of the large number of their property that is set up in TIF districts. The problems we have in Gary are easy to see. We have, for instance, one of the largest TIFs in the state, the TIF known as the Airport Development Zone. Recently, the casino has, which is in the Airport Development Zone, and has an assessed valuation on real estate property of over $200 million. $200 million represents, at the 3% tax rate, $6 million a year. $6 million a year that people would assume the casino is paying to the city of Gary. But in fact, the $6 million on their $200 million assessed valuation goes directly to the airport. Not one penny of that money that goes into that TIF district goes to serve the community's needs, the fire department, police department, libraries, or any of those other important services that people expect from their government, but instead goes to a totally wasteful airport, does nothing for anybody. People can't even visit the airport. Only serves warmongers like the Boeing company with all their missiles and stuff, and their planes falling out of the air, and they can't get their vehicles back from the moon. You know how that we have to count on Elon Musk to save our astronauts. So I'm going to urge this commission to look carefully at these TIF districts and take a look at that crazy airport development zone, which is serves as a TIF. It's not called a TIF, but it serves as a TIF. And of course, the rest of these TIFs are in the same problem. They generate taxes. It goes to you guys. Pay. You guys are in charge of the TIF money, but people would assume that the city council would have
We're at 3 minutes.
some benefit over that.
We're at 3
So
minutes.
I'm going to urge the commission to take a careful look at those TIFs, maybe get rid of some of them, especially the ones that are not performing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to close the public comment. Oh, wait a minute, there is someone else.
I'm here to speak on behalf of resolution number 7514. The resolution of the city of Gary
Sure. So, sir, I didn't get your name. Paul Dennis. Are you applying for a side lot? Okay. Perfect. We'll give you an opportunity to speak on behalf of your experience and the side lot application you submitted after this moment. But yeah, I appreciate it. You give us 2 minutes and then we'll be up to you. Okay. Thank you.
Well, anyone else before we ask him to come back up? We're now time for the presentation. So I close the public comment, come back up.
Paul Dennis. I'm here to speak on behalf of resolution number 7514, the resolution of the City of Gary's Redevelopment Commission authorizing and awarding real property from the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission towards private homeowners like myself from the city side lot program. I entered the side lot application back in February. Recently came back in October and was told to come speak on behalf of my side lot application. I'm a resident, also a homeowner at 5633 East 13th Place. I'm trying to take, speaking on behalf of the adjacent property of 5625 on the west side of my home. I had entered towards the side lot program. Just here to speak on behalf of the committee taking in consideration of my application of trying to award me that property. I have intentions of trying to finance a new garage towards that empty void. I've been taking care of it for the past 2 years. So just here to try to take anyone's consideration of awarding me that property.
Sure, we appreciate it, and thank you for giving us some context. And then that's what we ask for all of our side lot applicants, is to be able to express your history, of living at the property, what your intentions are, what you've been able to clearly share with the commission. And we just want to be able to put a face to the name and have not only our commission put a face to the name, but even the public to understand that side lots are real. They're desired by residents. We want to encourage any residents that live adjacent to properties that are owned by the City of Gary or the Gary Redevelopment Commission to be able to submit an application and being able to testify amongst the commission your intent. And I think you've answered all the general questions that we ask for applicants. So, yeah, no, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. There might be one presentation.
One. All right. Now we get into resolutions. Request for approval of resolution number 7514, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing and awarding real property from the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission to private homeowners for the City of Gary's My Gary, My Lot adjacent property program. Mr. Harris, go ahead.
Thank you, President Rogi. Resolution 7514, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing and awarding real property from the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission to private homeowners. Okay, so there are four side lots requested in the My Gary My Lot program, and the addresses include 2585 Monroe Street, 708 Rhode Island Street, 5706 East 5th Place, and 2436 Wheeler Street here
Chris,
in the City of Gary.
So I would like to make one amendment to that list. 5633, the one we just heard a presentation on from the gentleman, was not included on that list, but the executive assistant has assured me that that one was one that was supposed to be on this list, but we would like to amend that as well. So if that resolution is approved, we want to amend it to include property address 5633 East 13th Place.
Thank you, Attorney Jenkins. So I'm adding to the list of four, 5633 East 13th Place. So in total, before the commission are 5 side lots for approval to adjacent homeowners. So the Indiana statute provides a transfer of real property between government entities and private entities upon terms and conditions as agreed upon by the entities. The subject properties are located within the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission's area of redevelopment, and the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission has performed all requisite inspections and finds the parcels to be acceptable in this program. President Rogi, I'm passing it to the commission.
Okay, board. How do you feel about the 5 side lots? Kind of put that into language.
So I make a motion to approve the 5 side lots to include 5633 East 13th Place.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a second now. So, any discussion here? I don't. Okay. Roll call.
Right, they call it.
Commissioner Clements, Commissioner Chambers, Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. That was a kind of hard one. Request for approval of resolution number 7516. This is a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving the adoption of a draft letter of recommendation for the city developers. Mr. Harris, you want to explain?
Sure. Thank you, President Rogie. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission desires to support Gary developers obtaining resources necessary to facilitate further development within the City of Gary. And the Commission has identified 5 important qualities which exist in a developer before the Commission lends its support, which include the following: project need / proof of concept, execution plan and timeline. The third is the financial capability. The fourth is the socioeconomic community benefit. And the fifth is the positive community character. The Commission desires to offer support to developers who exhibit these traits by giving a letter of support, a draft of which is included in Exhibit A. And each award of the letter must be approved by a unanimous vote of the Commission as an agenda item of business during a scheduled meeting with the Redevelopment Commission, the Gary Redevelopment Commission.
Okay, this is a very powerful letter of support. How does the board feel?
Now, is this in place or in place to MOU or MOA?
This is something we'll give in place of an MOA. Like an MOA might exist in another context as well. It could, but will be our letter of support to anyone who is seeking resources or support, a letter of support from the commission.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 7516.
Moved in second, any other discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. So,
Right ahead.
is it the recommendation that in order for this letter to be approved, it must be approved by all 5 commissioners?
That is correct.
Okay, so give me the reasoning for all 5 in case someone is not able to make a meeting or something. And the thing is, we have meetings twice a month, and we could possibly be holding up a project if all 5 commissioners are not in place. So I think it's just my opinion, it should be the majority, at least 3, just in case. If the rest of the board doesn't want,
So-
I'm fine with whatever, but I just want to make sure that sometimes, like, we have one commissioner that's not here today, and that's because of his schedule, but I don't want to hold up anything of being mandated that it be all 5 commissioners.
So here, we can call a special meeting, but considering the nature of the letter and the power that it's all of the commission, I think that it's important that all the commissioners
Okay. You're talking about, so
Approve the letter.
whoever the developer provides that information to, they will be able to see that all 5 commissioners are in agreement with their project.
correct.
Okay, I understand totally where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and it's done in a special meeting for just that,
Okay.
okay? A public meeting, by the way. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Clemens? Yes. Commissioner Chambers?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
President Rogie?
Yes,
Motion passes.
all right. Request for approval of resolution number 7517. A resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving the annual report for 2023. Mr. Harris,
Okay. Thank you, President Rogi. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission is required to file an annual report each year under Indiana Code 367-14. Due to various circumstances, the report for 2023 was behind schedule. The Commission and staff desires to approve and submit the annual report for fiscal year 2023, which is attached in Exhibit A. President Rogi. So for the annual report, this is what we intend to approve. Now the TIF spending plan is what we want to have a special meeting for next week.
Okay, all right.
Motion to approve Resolution 7517.
Second.
Moving second, and discussion, and roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers?
Yes.
Commissioner Stalling? My apologies. Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
And President Rogi.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Where am I? A request for approval of resolution number 7518, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving and authorizing a letter of support for Family Life Community Center. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogi. So Resolution 7518 is requesting a letter of support from the Gary Redevelopment Commission support for Family Life Community Center, understanding the vast need of food insecurity here in the city of Gary. We have a unique opportunity with the properties that we own that are underutilized to get them active in serving that need for the public in food deserts across the city and underutilized land, that's zone business that we can offer to make a very impactful impact for our small business community, as well as not-for-profits that are looking and wishing to distribute food to help solve our food insecurity needs. So the support letter between the Redevelopment Commission and Family Life Community Center is be able to be a mechanism or vehicle to be able to help support those efforts in redevelopment and supporting and activating underutilized lots with the support of Family Life Community Center. Again, understanding the need in our community, understanding we have a big impact, opportunity to create a transformative impact within the city that's creative. So asking for a letter of support that the commission would be able to work with this entity to be able to help expand operations in collaboration with land and property that we own.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of Resolution 7518, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission approving and authorizing a letter of support for Family Life Community Center.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would just want to say publicly, I'm familiar with the work of this organization, and this organization has done a lot of work in the community with people at no charge to residents of the city of Gary and providing food, supplies, and these are the kind of partnerships that I think not only Family Life, but and I want to say publicly, if there are any other organizations out there doing work like this, please come and talk to our executive director and staff about partnerships, because one partnership is not going to do it. So if you really want to, help people and help feed people and bring about ideas, please contact us so we can get a partnership, as many partnerships as possible to help people in the city of Gary, especially when it comes to the winter season that's quickly approaching up until fall. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And roll call.
Commissioner Clemens? Commissioner Chambers?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right. A request for approval of resolution number 7519, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission providing and authorizing a memorandum of agreement between the Commission and Family Life Community Center to establish a working relationship between the parties to address food desert and food insecurity to vulnerable neighborhoods within the City of Gary. Mr. Harris?
President Rogie, I'm going to ask that we table resolution 7519 for a future meeting.
Okay, you heard Mr. Harris.
I make a motion to table resolution 7519.
Second.
Motion to table and second, and roll call.
Commissioner Clemens? Commissioner Chambers?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
And President Rogie.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I guess I want to ask a question. I'm assuming this was delayed because of what we just did to be able to approve it with all 5 commissioners.
So actually, the request to table this is more so regarding property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a not-for-profit or a for-profit organization?
This is a not-for-profit organization.
Would that even fall?
So here, because for 7519, it was in regard to a specific property that the Redevelopment Commission owns, understanding what the best mechanism is to be able to activate that space. There is grant funding to be able to activate that space,
Okay.
and we're determining whether or not that should be a lease agreement or MOA. Even though this is a not-for-profit organization, the technicality is that we just want to make sure,
Right.
because we have to go before a legal notice if there's a lease agreement,
Okay.
even for a lease agreement, right? So we're just trying to determine what mechanism works to be able to make that
I
happen.
understand. Thank you.
Yep.
Request for approval of resolution number 7520, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing the release of deed restrictions for property located at 2164-74 Johnson Street. Mr. Harris.
I'll take this one
Okay,
as the
good.
attorney for the Redevelopment Commission. I want to request that we punt this resolution 7520 to another meeting. I want additional time to investigate some circumstances that came up with this property. Initially, it was just going to be a request for a deed, release of deed restriction, because this involved property that we gave to another part, we conveyed to another party back in 2006. But there's some more details that I want to look into regarding this before I either authorize that deed restriction or we might want to pursue taking back this property. So until then, I would like to just punt this matter to another meeting. So I would request a motion to table to the next meeting for now.
I make a motion to table resolution 7520 to the next meeting.
Second.
Moving second, and roll call.
Commissioner Clemens?
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers?
Yes.
Commissioner Washington?
Yes.
And President Rogie.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Request for approval of resolution number 7521, a resolution of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission authorizing the execution of a professional services contract with Industrial Installations Solutions, Inc. for asbestos testing and removal. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, President Rogie. The City of Gary Redevelopment Commission has previously entered into a contract with the contractor Industrial Installations Solutions Incorporated. The nature of this ask is that we have an emergency situation in which we're preparing to demolish 469 Broadway. The intent is that we want to expedite this demolition, considering of circumstances of falling brick onto 4th Place and Broadway. we have this resolved by the City of Gary Department of Redevelopment and Commissioners, and that the President and Secretary authorize the Commission attorney and myself, to finalize negotiations to execute this contract for Industrial Insulation Solutions Incorporated for the abatement of 469 Broadway.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve Resolution 7521.
Second.
motion to approve, and that was second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
and President Rogie.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Oh, we're down to director's comments.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, President Rogie. I'll be brief. First off, I wanted to, now that we're in holiday season, want to wish the citizens of Gary happy holidays. You know, it's been very exciting year, building a lot of momentum for the city of Gary, and I really also want to thank the commissioners because I think we've been able to gear and steer a lot of momentum for development efforts. We're actively working with the state in regard to our demolition efforts for Senate Bill 434. That process should be beginning within the next few weeks, understanding that we're waiting for final contract execution with the Attorney General's office, but understand that we've been doing our due diligence for particular structures in the downtown area to be demolished. We've been working with the Office of Sustainability, Environmental Affairs, with the grant that we have to be able to work with the Indiana Brownfields and Indiana Finance Authority to ensure that these structures are coming down with all the appropriate due diligence to be able to move forward expeditiously. But it's a very exciting time for the city of Gary. For those who weren't able to attend the Mayor's Town Hall in October, I highly recommend that you take a look at the City of Gary's website. The Mayor's Town Hall was televised, and there are the PowerPoint presentations of the Mayor's presentation to share with the public. But I highly encourage those who were not able to attend the Town Hall to understand what we're doing here in the city when it comes to redevelopment and community development efforts. Between working with the Notre Dame School of Architecture and preparing for Senate Bill 434, preparing for large development opportunities that are going to bring jobs to the city. There's a lot of positivity, and I really thank the commission. It's been now a year since I've been in this role, so I definitely thank the commission for their patience with me, you know, and learning and finding my way, but also being partners to move the city forward. So I just want to encourage the residents to be excited. And if you have any questions, to reach out to myself or my executive assistant, Mark Celio, if you desire to set up a one-on-one. And I highly encourage you that if you live next to a city lot, that you determine your eligibility for the side lot program. We really want to ramp those efforts up because we know how important that is, building wealth for our residents. And being able to have greater ownership surrounding their property. Outside of that, I know that we're planning for a special meeting for Monday, and I think that's my next comment. But a special meeting for next Monday at this time at 4:00 to discuss the matters that we tabled today. But again, I just want to wish everyone, if I don't get to see you virtually or here in person, a happy Thanksgiving. So, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, comments? Good.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I want to ask if there's a possibility for that special meeting. I know that you and the Vice President was meeting with Tony Glenn regarding the memorandum of agreement. Do you all want to let us know what happened at that meeting, and if everything is going appropriately, can that be added to the agenda for the special meeting?
Well, yes, we did have a meeting, and what came out of that meeting was that the attorney and the staff would develop this letter that we just approved today.
Right.
And this letter has to go through the procedure with that particular developer to be completed and then come to us at a special meeting. And I don't think that can happen by Monday.
Well, help me understand what's all that needed to be done, because my understanding, the letter is clear and you all met, so shouldn't the next issue at hand to be to just, if they're gonna be provided with this documentation, that it just needs to be voted on, I guess, what else needs to happen based on the next steps in the process?
These 5 pillars in this letter, we did not discuss those. And so that has to be, at least, we have to gain that from Tony Glenn and his companies to be able to decide.
Okay,
And that's what it's all about.
okay. Then I'll just request that the staff get with Mr. Glenn and start this process. And I understand it because we have to do the same thing before the council approves anything through planning and development, through zoning. So let's, because it took a while for us to get that meeting scheduled and done. So let's try to expedite. And I'm not saying it needs to be done before the next meeting, but hopefully before the end of the year, there can be a resolution. And then to give Mr. Stalling also to be here, so everybody could be here to possibly vote on it.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
staff can set up that meeting. Now that we have the letter drafted and adopted by the body, now we could share that template and make sure that Mr. Glenn is understanding of what points we want to make sure the commission receives in effort to have that be brought before the body for approval.
And Ms. Ayers, let me also say this. I want to commend you and the staff for this letter, because instead of just giving anybody a letter to just say we're going to partner with you, these 5 elements are very crucial to weed out people who don't have the financing, who don't have anything, because a lot of people come to the city with hopes and dreams, and they want us to just give out property, and you give them the property and you have to, like you said, take the property back. But we want to make sure that when people come and they want property, that they, execute these 5 pillars. Now, my second question, because Attorney, you brought up something interesting about one of these resolutions about taking property back. I think when you came before Planning and Development, one of my requests before the end of the year was to have Ken Anderson, is that his name?
Nick Anderson.
Yeah, Nick Anderson, come before the Redevelopment Commission, and I want him to come before the City Council, because I want to hear what is going on. And again, this predates the current administration, but we need to know what's going on with the project and the properties that he currently has for this J Pit and this development that was supposed to have been happening for the last 5 years.
Lake Sandy Joe. Sorry. Lake Sandy Joe. JP
Lake
is
Sandy,
a different
yeah, I'm
site.
sorry, Lake Sandy Joe. Thank you for correcting me. But since I've been on the council, I've saw newspaper articles, but we see no development. And I really think if Nick Anderson is not going to fulfill the commitment that he gave to previous administrations, then we really need to consider taking that property back and giving it to somebody that really is going to be steadfast in developing the property. And if I'm not mistaken, this has gone on for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And again, I don't even know if Nick Anderson exists.
So here, I want to.
Just like
I want to.
what is the movie's
Yes, so
name when the guy Glenn, when they thought he was Cesar, now I ain't gonna say Cesar Borgia, but it was some movie where this guy, Kevin Spacey was the person, he walked with a limp, and nobody thought that this guy, he was a notorious gangster, and they didn't believe he existed, but he actually did exist. What? The Usual Suspects, yes. I want to see if Nick Anderson actually exists, or is he an emoji?
No,
And
so
I want him to come before the Redevelopment Commission, then before the council, and I say this as Chair of Planning and Development, because we have thousands of parcels and properties that we have in the city of Gary And I wish this document would have been available before previous administrations went into that agreement. But this administration should not be held responsible for the lack of progress of that development. So if you have some more information on that, let us know.
Sure. So I can definitely guarantee that he does exist. I've met him in person
Okay.
several times, but I actually had a conversation with him in late October, and I think that he was just waiting here. And this is probably a communication piece on me. He said, "Hey, he's willing to meet the commission or the council anytime, any date, set forth and established." So if we want to set that for our special meeting, or if we that might be a little aggressive for him, I got to check a schedule. But definitely for our next meeting in December, our first meeting.
Shake his meeting if
then,
he's available. Yes.
So, but I also want to share a bigger picture regarding that development. So it wasn't until March of 2024 that team finally get the conveyance restrictions from the Indiana Department of IDEM. From IDEM about what could be developed on that site. Technically, they had to have that on the deed, the conveyance about what restrictions or what parameters could be developed on that site from now and hence forevermore, right? They finally got that document in March of 2024, and they could not develop anything on the property until they got that information from IDEM and the EPA's approval. So when I started my role here in October, they had monthly meetings, and it was just more so like, hey, we're still waiting for approval. And then finally, in March of 2024, they received that approval from the state. And then from that point, Mr. Anderson was looking to work with the commission and understanding how we redevelop the site. They took measures to acquire the property and be able to put their advertisement, their for sale sign of like, hey, what can we put out there to the market? And I think I want to leave the rest up to Nick Anderson based on my conversation with him in late October about where the team is now in that process of developing the site. But like I said, I'll set up the date with him for our December, I think it's December 4th at 4:00, and have him here and present for the public.
Okay. Yeah,
for a
please have him
presentation.
here and for his information. And I would ask Ms. Carey if there's any concerns by guard, if you all can be at this meeting also regarding Lake Sandy Joe, because I know you probably have a lot to say about it. But if he's going to develop, and I tell you, he's met with previous mayors and nothing has happened, and I'm hopeful that something will happen because the land is just sitting there. But thank you for your diligence on that.
No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's my comments for this evening.
Thank you. Now, any number 19 is new agenda items, but I think you went over just about everything. So we'll go to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to remind everyone that starting Monday, there's no school next week for the Thanksgiving break. But also on Friday and Saturday, the Lakeshore Classic is taking place at Westside High School. So please come out and watch. Westside's girls are playing Friday and boys are playing Saturday. So come out and support and see some great basketball. All right. Just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
So do we have anything more?
No more outside of the agenda items for the next meeting that we discussed that we tabled today. That will be on our special meeting on November 25th at 4:00 here. And I'm also happy to see people here in our meeting. Our meetings are getting more full, and we definitely appreciate public engagement and transparency. And we encourage more to be able to view and participate in what we're doing here. Usually we have a full house for side lots, but I think we have one individual here that's here for a side lot. So it's just good to see more people engaged with the Redevelopment Commission.
Okay, the big one. Adjournment. More than second, roll call.
Commissioner Clements.
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers.
Yes.
Commissioner Washington.
Yes.
And President Rogie.
Yes.
Motion passes to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, thank you, everyone.